person, and so she's a little stressed, and deciding exactly what to eat is not high on our priority list.
What does she do?
She's a home health nurse,
Uh,
so she's literally making her schedule as we speak, or attempting to,
yeah,
calling old people and figuring out when you can come without it interrupting their bingo is sometimes tricky.
dude, that's yeah. At least it's good money though, right?
She makes good money, but she's been very, very stressed the last couple of weeks. So we'll see. I got to ramp up my coaching so she can drop one of her 5 jobs.
Has she thought about like the wellness IV stuff and go to people's houses and they do like parties and all that stuff?
So one of her friends back in Pennsylvania that she went to school with does something like that. So we've talked about it multiple times, and a couple of our good friends also work in the same industry as like management. She doesn't want to go into management because they don't make as much money as the field does, and especially with just buying the house and stuff. We can't take that hit right now, at least not till my coaching stuff ramps back up.
Yep.
So uh, we would have friends that could be on the management side of things, and then she has some friends that would come along, but she's not ready to make that jump yet.
Gotcha. Oh man. Um, yeah. How's the coaching going? I saw that
Uh,
you posted that you're taking more serious clients.
yeah, I'm just getting sick of the lifestyle clients that, well, first off, they talk about it for 3 years and never actually pull the trigger. And then when they do, I put all the time and effort into trying to monitor their stuff, trying to be on top of them, making adjustments, just for them to follow 20% of the plan and then wonder why we're not getting results. Be like, I can't physically do the work for you. So I want, since the dog training is really picking up, I don't know if you've seen, but
Mhm.
that brand new account for Paw Control, which is my dog training page, one of the posts is about to break 3.8 million views,
Good.
over 100,000 likes, like shared 6,000 plus times. Actually, I think it was shared like 64,000 times. It's just went nuclear. So I just signed up my first virtual dog training client from California.
Huh. Virtual.
So, yep. So before I got Maximus, get, when I was thinking about getting a working line dog, I was
Okay.
going to commit. I was going to commit to the training of them. So I started taking like really in-depth dog training courses online. So that was just a virtual packet. Like they went through step by step and kind of taught. Where this is going to be like a one-on-one virtual, so I can see exactly what they're doing and correct it real time.
Yeah.
But it's
Okay.
been going great.
That like blows my mind that you can do virtual dog training online. Like
It comes
I,
down
I,
to
I think about
it's
that Caesar guy.
so he's a classic. Most people can't do what he does because
Yeah.
his technique is so hard to mimic because he's so good at reading dogs and the timing that he does stuff. Other people aren't going to have as good a timing as he does. So most people are going to fail trying to use those principles. But whenever it comes down to dog training, like if I'm going to see a dog once to twice a week, the rest of the time, the owner has to know what we're working on and how to do it correctly, how to positively and negatively reinforce it. So most of the session is explaining and teaching the owner how to work on the thing we're working on so they can get the reps through the rest of the week before I come back for the next session. So
Yeah.
unless it's a board and train, which I definitely want to get into at some point, that's where the good money is. That's where I physically take the dog in the home. I do 100% of his training for 4, 6, 8 weeks, and then return the dog, and then just spend a day or two teaching the owner how to properly handle the dog. Any of the private trick like dog training sessions are going to come down to teaching the owner how to correctly handle and train the dog anyway. So virtually, I'm just watching it in real time, showing examples on my end with my dogs, and then making sure they're applying the principles correctly so they can do the same thing, getting the reps throughout the week.
Dude, that's just it's freaking nuts. Like to think that we've come so far with this virtual training. Like it's went from like virtual schools, to virtual personal training, and then virtual doctors and virtual now dog training. It's like I've seen them doing virtual surgeries now to where like they're in one room, like across the states, and then they can perform surgery like with robotics. And they've been
Yeah.
practicing peeling back the skin on grapes and stuff, and then doing sutures on grapes. I'm like, that blows my mind. Like I would just end up like stabbing someone multiple times. Yeah,
I'd be a little nervous, even though technically the robot is probably going to be more stable than a human. I'd be
I don't know,
nervous
man.
about that.
What's up, Joe? Anything
Um,
new?
um, I was like, I'd be more nervous like with the virtual surgery. Like, what if your internet went out or it had like a lag? They tried to like catch up. It's just like speed run a robot cutting the crap out of someone. It's like, terrifies me. I mean, I'm sure there's some kind of safeguard in there. I'm thinking of like all the times growing up, I was like playing a lot of online games. You get like a bit of latency, and then it would all like go at once. And I'm just terrified that someone tries to cut me up from far away doing that.
Yeah, it's like when you're watching YouTube videos and then someone's lagging, and like there could be a nurse in the OR be like, "No, you got to stop," and he just keeps going because he's on a lag.
Yep.
It's
A
funny.
2 second delay.
Yeah, man.
Uh,
So
but I mean,
how's your prep going or your off season?
I I just started a health phase a few weeks ago. I was pushing pretty hard there for a couple of months, so took like a good 2 weeks off the gym for Christmas. And then right when I got back, I got sick. So I had another week off. So I'm kind of just getting back in the swing of things now. But I mean, it's going okay. Probably getting some blood work at the end of next month and hopefully blasting after that again. You know, I mean, life is good. Food's nice, a little bit lower, so I'm not force feeding as much, which always feels nice.
Yeah. What'd you
Uh,
do whenever you're sick, like for food and fluids? Like, what'd you focus on?
I just kind of got what food I could in. I made sure because before my plan was okay, either this have much chicken and rice and green beans, and then on top of that, get 75 grams of carbs in this meal from bread, bagels, whatever you feel like, just on top of the chicken and rice. So we cut that like the extra out and went a little bit lower fat, which just kind of got the appetite going again. So it's good. Lost about 20, 25 pounds, but still good.
Yeah, I saw it in your pictures. I was like, did you do a mini cut? And you said you were sick.
Oh, just got sick. But I mean, I'm not complaining. Give me a little bit more room to grow in the future. It wasn't really hard because I didn't want to eat anyways. Wasn't doing a bunch of cardio, so just
Yeah.
sucks because I'm sure you can kind of tell my voice still isn't all the way back, and it's been 3 weeks. So we'll see what happens there. I'm not sure if it's just my throat's raw from coughing so much, or if I need to take some of the antibiotics to try and get it back, or what. I just hasn't been there yet.
Is it like because I've been seeing stuff go around and it's not bronchitis, it's like laryngitis or something. Like it's in your throat.
It definitely is a lot in my throat. I'm not sure if it is laryngitis. I did go to the doctor. I will say I got sick like 2 days after I was on a plane ride back from vacation, and the family behind me was an Asian family that did not speak much English. So I may be patient zero of COVID 20.
COVID 26. Yeah,
Um,
man. See, I have someone that I know, she just flew back from Italy and she said there's like an older woman and she just kept coughing, coughing, coughing. She's like, I didn't want to be rude to her and all this stuff. And then she came back and she's like, she's in the gym, but she took 2 weeks off after coming back and she was just like, she's still sick. And I'm like, man, I don't know what it is, but it's been going around. I'm like, as long as you don't have measles, like you're fine. Like,
yeah. And I was all happy on the flight too because I was next to the family at first, but I always book an aisle seat because I'm 6'2", at the time, 275. So I was like hanging out in the aisle. I had the armrest up and everything. And the stewardess took pity on me. She says, "Hey, the entire exit row, no one paid to like upgrade to the exit row. You just go and have all those 3 seats to yourself." So I was all excited. But now if I could trade, I would be stuck in the smallest seat in the back and I didn't get sick.
Yeah. I flew with Southwest a couple of times, and every time I just like, I'll take my chance and I'll just like check in and see if I can get like an earlier boarding. But like I'd always end up like there'd only be middle seats left. And people were just like, you could see them in their eyes. They're like, please don't sit by me. But sometimes the stewardess are a little bit more accommodating, finding like really small people and be like, hey, can you switch the seat with this guy? But now I just fly United and I make sure to get the aisle seat.
Yep. I like Alaska when I can because I was flying to Seattle and that's a Alaska hub. So
Uh, yeah, I've never flown on that. I don't go visit that far north.
no,
There's,
I don't like Seattle. It is fucking cold here in Minnesota right now, but it was like -5 with wind chill today. So that's fun.
yeah, yeah, man. I don't know why you guys live up there. Jeez.
1 month out of the year, the summers are incredible.
No, they're too hot actually. They're like 100 degrees.
I haven't been up there for the summers in a while, but I remember we used to sit like 70, 75 and sunny, just the mosquitoes at night freaking murder you.
Yep, those are always bad. Especially because I'm just being a big guy. When I'm out on like an outdoor walk on the weekend, I usually in like just shorts and no shirt. So my entire back just gets eaten up. No,
That's that's risky.
yeah, it's not a good state recently. Up in a fan.
Oh yeah,
You
all
know,
the crap going on.
Oh yeah.
uh, yeah. I don't really pay attention to that stuff much. I try not to. But I do follow the Hodge twins on Facebook. What are they called? Like conservative twins or something? And I didn't know they turned their names to conservative twins. I was like, these guys look familiar. And but now they're just their feed is just full of news articles and it seems like I can believe some of the stuff that they say. Like they're pretty honest, it feels like. They don't cut clips and everything. But just it's wild what is going on out there in the world. And I stay away from it, man. I mean, walking on the treadmill in the gym, I see some of the crazy crap on like CBS and Fox News and stuff, and I'm like, man, it's funny because like my aunt is the person that is like always watches those things. She gets like that fear mongered and she gets all this, I guess like she's what's the word? She's like gullible in a way, you know? And I figured ignorance is bliss when it comes to stuff like this.
No, I mean it's even though I'm like in Minneapolis, like where all the crap's going down, I'm in one of the suburbs, and so it's not affecting my life at all. I just don't go downtown, and I wasn't going downtown anyways. So get up in the morning, do my cardio, go to work, go to the gym, come home.
Yeah.
Not affecting my life at all.
Yeah, you just if you wanted to kill you, then you would just follow you for a day and you'd know your routine.
And I just do it for one day, every day for the next several months.
Yeah. Yeah. Back in Florida, like I would just do the same stuff over and over again. It's like my Google Maps was like, if I visited one little place, like a different store, it'd be like, you visited a new place like in the past month. I'm like, oh, like it's the same little circle back then. So
Yep.
When I get in my car, my GPS like automatically puts in my next location. I'm like, what are we doing?
you get in, it's like, you're going to go to Publix. I'm like, how'd you know? um, hey, Uh, so I've been binging TV and there's these commercials on the apps because I don't pay for the ad-free stuff. And I've noticed a lot of Factor meals.
Yep.
Have you paid attention to the ad on there where she's one of the WNBA players? Uh, I, I don't know why they have a WNBA, but she's
They're
eating
cheap for
salmon.
sponsorships.
Yeah, yeah, they rake in tons of money. She's eating a salmon meal, but the salmon is like sitting on top, like like over the bed of whatever carbs she's eating or something. but like it has to be sealed. So there's no way that that salmon could be like like gently placed on top of the meal. And so I'm like watching all this, like even when they're preparing the meals, like none of it is like inside the container to where you're gonna back like put that seal on there. It's all like above. And I've had similar meals, and there's no way you're vacuuming all that stuff down and it popping back out like perfect.
No.
I just it's crazy what they do for these ads to make people buy these meals, and like they're terrible. Like I don't think they're good at all. I think the only one that I feel like it's worth it is if you really need to buy meat from Trifecta, I guess. But I don't even know why you'd use a meal prep service for that nowadays.
No, because I mean they charge like what, like 12, $14 a pound for the cooked meat. And you could like at Costco, they have like 2 pounds for $12. So $6 a pound. Even if they add Instacart delivery fee, make it $7 a pound, still half the price, and it's probably better quality because it's not being freeze dried and shipped.
Yeah. And oh, and I follow these Costco people on Facebook because Facebook is where all the old people like to go. And they have Costco has like this Chipotle pulled chickens like already prepped and stuff,
Oh
like
yeah,
2 pounds. Yeah. So ever since I got the Costco membership, I'm like really big into Costco and
I just love
just
Costco.
just the variety. Like I still think Sam's Club, I have both, but like Sam's Club has like some better prices on some things. But Costco, man, they get me in there with the advertising of like this brand, like this high end brand is in there. And then they throw like a freaking Lego set that I would want
Oh
to
yeah.
buy, and it's all in there. You know, I got like a pack of like 10 flashlights. Yeah.
You never have too
Uh,
many flashlights. I have
well,
Sam's
my
Club currently, so I don't get all the Costco perks, but
uh, it's funny, man. I was like, I've never been so excited to go to Costco's, and there's like three that are like next to me. But I am getting super old, so I'm a
I
boring
love
person.
Costco. Even like their store brand supplements aren't bad. I mean, they have like the cheapest per pound protein powder I've ever seen. It's like six
Yeah,
pounds for $50 or something. And they have like the sports research brand for like the fish oil and everything, which is a great deal. Their turmeric is all like the 95% curcuminoids. So no, they have good stuff there. I mean, I'm a big Costco stand, and my rebate check from them reflects that. It feels really
yeah,
good to get that rebate check until I realize, okay, how much did I spend to get this rebate check?
yeah,
don't do the
yeah.
math. Don't
I
do
get
the
mine
math.
on. I got an email saying that mine's coming February. So, but yeah, like the supplements there, man, it's super cheap. It's not like I remember like back in the day, we would get like what was it like Bounty something, the green stuff or the Nature's Made from like Walmart. And I'm always
Yep.
like, I don't think there's anything in these, but the Costco brand and even Sam's Club, I think they're solid now. Like I don't know who manufactures it, but like I mean, even like vitamin C, that's where I tell people to go get it. It's just 1,000 milligram tablets. Just freaking
Yep.
take those, man. There's no difference between vitamin C versus someone else. Like I'm not going to tell someone to go spend like $50 for 100 capsules of pure encapsulation vitamin C.
I mean, there are some things that I will spend on like the name brand. Like I don't believe a lot of those Amazon listings for Tadka. Like
Oh
that,
no.
that's too good of a price for Tadka. That's not real. Those sort
Yeah.
of things. But for the most part, Costco does a good job.
Yeah.
Sam's Club has the raw brand pre-made ready to drink proteins, 30 grams of
Yep.
protein. So we
Yeah.
like to keep those in the fridge in the garage. So like when Tina's rushing out the door, they have their actual protein powder there, and
Yeah.
they have some decent options that I would definitely utilize.
I just refuse
Yeah.
to buy any raw products because too many kids in my gym idolize sebum. So I just refuse to buy raw. It's a
I
bad reason, but it's a reason.
they were I was with them for a while, like Ron, I really was with them because of Revive.
Yeah.
And because I love Dom Kuza's thought process behind every formulation. But whenever it got like to the point where there's just too much saturation, they started getting all these like broccoli hair kids. I went to one of the events, like the team meetups and stuff, and I was just like, why am I associated with these people? So then I just ended it, and now I'm just kind of just trying everybody's stuff out. Like I like a pollen stuff. It's pricey, but I like a pro. I think Jeff Long is really. I think his company is what I'm going toward, and then with my pre-workouts, because I still want to be cracked out, like I will go with like Dark Labs and stuff. But
Did you leave Ancient Nutrition then?
no, I still work for them.
Okay,
Yeah. So they're like my health supplements. We did just put out
gotcha.
like some protein powders though. It's like their protein's A2 protein with a whey concentrate. I prefer whey isolate whenever I can, but we just came out with like a multi-animal protein, so it's got all in one tub. It's got your collagen, your colostrum, your bone broth, your A2 milk protein, and I think that's it. So it's got everything in one, but it's like 15 or I think it's 15 servings for like $70, right? So it's a premium product, but people freaking love it and they'd rather get everything in one and pay that price versus like other people's quality isn't that good. So like even like collagen, the only person that I think stands up next to their collagen is NutriBio has one that is very similar, but the quality behind Ancient Nutrition is it's insane, and I've seen it, and hopefully it stays that way. Is what I hope. But like even the organs and stuff like that, like again, we're out of stock on stuff a lot, and it really is it's a supply issue because we like if it doesn't pass the testing, like we are not putting it in, and we're not finding a different source. So
I didn't mean to turn this like a supplement plug. I apologize there, but
oh no, I
no,
don't get any money from it. I just work for them.
fair enough.
Yeah, I just send people stuff for free.
No, I mean I've bought those stuff too, and it is good quality. I've there even like the bone broth protein I tried is just something different. It tasted
Yeah.
good. It was a bit of a saltier, but it was still good.
Yeah, salted caramel is great. I use it and I like how it gets gelatinous and ice, but I mix it like with a whey isolate and the bone broth collagen and ice and water and then I'll throw in like a I use the flavor packets, like these root beer flavor packets or cream soda ones. Dude,
Oh
like
yeah.
those are freaking genius. Why don't they come out with more soda ones, man? Like or just like decadent flavor things to make I don't know.
I mean the Skittles ones are pretty good. I like those.
Yeah. There, there's another one. It's like there's a banana one. There's a vanilla one now. Um, these are, dude. I wake up at 4 a.m. Right, so sometimes if I'm done with clientele work, I scroll Amazon or Walmart apps.
It's
There's some
dangerous. I've played that game, and it drains my wallet fast.
there's some obscure things, and then I recently like found TikTok Shop because of Discord, because someone was like, "Oh, this is on sale." So I was like, "Oh, let me like stock up." And there's some weird stuff on there, dude. Like weird.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
like a adult rated stuff, and it's people that have like 3D printers. But like, I was like looking up like funny, was it a funny hand foam soap dispensers, and then like it just, I don't know how everything's connected, but I don't need like a a dildo that sticks onto your refrigerator.
I
So
think you do. I think
they're
it's
like
sending you a message that you do need that.
they're like little ones, and I thought they were magnets because I clicked on it. I was like, well, this is going to like destroy my search like suggestions because I was looking for like white elephant gifts, and I'm like, and I thought they were magnets. I was like, oh, this would be funny, and then it's just like little tiny ones that you could stick on people's windows, and it shows like them sticking it on car windows and stuff. I'm like, why is it out there? And then you have people that review it. Oh man. But
Oh,
yeah,
jeez.
dangerous. Um, so I still have questions to answer from people that have sent uh, DMs. You guys want to answer some?
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right. First one. When do you toss your socks out and buy new ones?
I am the wrong person to ask because I have some from 4 years ago that still have holes in the heels. Generally speaking, because I buy the same brand and the same value pack from Costco. I get like about one pack a year because they last a while. And just whenever I start getting holes either in the balls of the feet or in the heels, I toss that sock out. But I try and stick to the same kind, same brand, so that way when I'm folding laundry, it's way easier to match them.
So I only have one type of sock at a time and only one color. I won't buy a pack that has multiple colors in it. And then I wear them out if the ankles, like the where it comes around your ankle, if that gets really worn out, or the ball of my feet is where my socks kind of wear thin. Once they start doing that, I throw them out and buy all the same color sock and just repeat that process.
I don't mind
Plus, I know
them
my
not
dress
matching.
socks.
Oh yeah, dress socks. I have
Yeah,
a drawer of dress socks that I don't even wear anymore.
yeah, I have
And
like
there's some good
five
ones,
pairs.
man. There's some like stance socks in there, so they're like Star Wars and stuff. But no, I mean, I just toss them out whenever they get holes, and because I do so much running and stuff now, like I get holes so fast in them. Um, but I my wife just bought me some, but yeah, I don't care if they match or not. I'll just wear whatever.
Yeah, when I'm
Oddly
doing
enough,
more
sorry, go ahead.
running, the new socks that still have like a little of the cushion in the balls of the feet. When I start running more, I can tell which socks are worn thin. Just
Yeah.
every step, I'm like, oh, the sock sucks. I'm just going, just
Well,
stewing in anger.
yeah, mine are like at the near my toes, right? So because I'm pushing like sleds or I'm because I'm working on my 100 meter again and I'm doing like the ergo bikes and stuff. So like I'm just pushing off of that and like all that just gets super thin super fast. Plus I'm wearing Vivo barefoots. So yeah.
Now, I've been meaning to ask people who use those. They like the barefoot shoes. When you walk on a gravel road, do you feel the gravel stabbing your feet?
It depends on which ones you have. Like they have some trail ones that can like mitigate that impact. But here's the thing. This is what I tell people that want to get into barefoot shoes. They have different uh, thicknesses for the soles, and the more minimalist you go, the more your feet are going to hurt within the few days that you're wearing it. Now, the problem is, primitively, we were barefoot, yes. However, we didn't have concrete, so it would be best to use them in grass on top of wearing the barefoot to get your feet acclimated and if you have a high arch, like I have naturally a high arch, and it helps to drop it a bit more to make it more stable, which now I have better ankle mobility, which I've noticed with my agility drills and stuff. I have a lot better control of the ground and I can grab the ground as I'm running. Now, I would love to have cleats with some type of like barefoot technology to it to make it a little bit so I can grab it with my toes. Cleats, you can't do it, right? It's like super tight. But your feet do hurt. You do feel everything. I still run in mine. Like my feet, they look they look disgusting now. And my wife is like, "Man, your feet are like they're just I don't know, man. They're like freaking like just little rocks now. Like they're not David Goggins nasty, but like the bottom of it's so calloused, but it like I don't feel anything anymore. But they still have like mobility and such in them. But um I think they're worth it, but like my feet were killing me the first like 6 months, like wearing them, and then eventually I got stronger, I guess. But like, cause I wore them to Lowry Park Zoo, which was a terrible idea on like the first week of having them, and it's all cement, and dude, my ankles were like hemorrhaged. But now that's all gone. So like, but now I feel totally great in them. I squat in them. I do everything, and my ankle mobility is great. Like I don't even use wedges anymore.
When I used to have horrible plantar fasciitis, when I was starting to lose all my weight, when I switched to the barefoot shoes, it made such a big difference for me. It sucked the first probably week and a half to 2 weeks, But then after that, I made so much progress. I'm like, I can wake up in the morning and get out of bed without it feeling like I got stabbed in the bottom of my foot. That, and I would freeze a water bottle and just put it in a sock and use the water bottle to roll the bottom of my foot out, or just have the sock on and roll the bottom of my
Yeah.
feet. Those two things made the biggest difference for me.
Yeah. Yeah. We used to do freeze water in a Dixie cup and then rip off the end of the Dixie cup, put a cloth over it, and then kind of like rub it in to the area that hurts. And like that's kind of like a PT trick that we would do in orthopedics. Um, I don't want to go on that tangent. Never mind. Yeah. So this is the tangent. Now, I recently found out what butt plugs were. And
Oh, you just
I
found that out?
like it
How did we find this out?
like 6 months ago. Well, because I Googled it, like the image, like I did the little AI and I circled the image. I was like, what is this? And the Google popped it up. Now I thought,
Wait, before we get off this, where did you find the image, Andrew?
well, TikTok is an amazing thing. So this is like 6 months ago or like 7 months ago. Um, but I thought they were, so I don't drink alcohol, right? And so I thought they had these metal ice things or whatever that you put in whiskey, right? Like you freeze them and it keeps the whiskey cold. I don't know. I thought they were that. They were just shaped differently so you can swirl it around and maybe it makes the vortex. I was highly wrong. And my wife was like, what? You didn't know that? And then she started going into like, they have like beads and stuff. I'm like, what? And yeah. So, anyways.
Or did you get yourself one for a present?
Well, then I started thinking, I was like, no. Then I started
His
thinking, and
wife
then I was
got
like,
one.
if I freeze it, the rosary beads, not anal beads. But if you freeze the metal uh, uh, butt plugs, then you could rub it against your like plantar fasciitis. You can use it almost like a Graston tool, but cryo. So then I was
Like,
like, should I buy it? And then I was like, I don't think I want that in the house because someone's going to think I'm using it for a different reason, and they're going to find it in the freezer. No.
Your kids are going to find it.
Yeah,
you've probably seen a girl in the gym that had one in actively.
maybe I don't know.
Oh yeah.
Every dude,
The
everything
gir-
looks like it gravitates up there. Every time when those girls wear those bunchy pants, I get, you know how like whenever someone gets like kicked in the dick, you're like, oh, you kind of feel it. I see their wedgie and I'm like, and I start to pull mine because like I think I have one, and it's just like a, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, that's the what goes on in my head and in
we,
my house.
we you learn something new every day.
I know. 37. I finally found out what a butt plug was. Um.
The freaking V8
Uh.
vibrators that like hardwire into the wall, the
Slippery
wands or
slope, my
whatever.
friends.
Hey, you
Next. Next.
started.
Next question. Do you? Oh, how about this one? uh, who was? Hmm. Who was 2025's most overlooked bodybuilder, and who do you expect to be the breakout bodybuilder of the 2026?
Hmm.
Okay, I'll go for 2025. I think overlooked. I think Ken was that colossal Ken guy. I think he
Oh,
was overlooked. And I saw him at Destination Dallas, and he was not in prep and just off season. I think he was overlooked. I thought he had great shape. He flowed very well. They said his posing was wrong for his body type. I don't know. But I think if he just continues to grow, but he's growing at a rapid rate. Um, but I think he was overlooked in a few shows. He should have placed higher, not win them, but he should have placed higher. And I think the next one to break out next year or this year, I think it's going to be Joe Palacios.
I
was that
see.
the? Go ahead.
Oh,
Was that the guy that was just on Fuad's podcast? There was one
I think he's
posted.
been on there once or something. How many? I don't know.
you've been on
I
there a
haven't
couple,
watched
like
all of his
2 or 3
podcasts.
times.
Okay, Yeah, I think that's who was on the most recent bro chat or
Yep. It was on the
one of the
bodybuilding and
shows.
bollocks, I think.
Yeah, that one. I was watching it earlier this morning on my way to the Wesley Chapel. But he looks like he's
Yeah,
made some improvements.
bro, in real life, um, he looks like Nick Walker and Jay Cutler morphed together. Like I haven't seen a back. His back hangs, just hangs off his spine, and I'm like, dude, it's nutty. Seeing him walk off stage at the Dallas Pro, I haven't seen that type of back since like,
I agree.
yeah, right, yeah,
Dude,
like Kai
that
Green
was
in
the
a
most
t-shirt,
ridiculous.
right? I have never seen Kai Green in person, up close. I've seen him very far away at the Olympia, but yeah, it's nutty. But yeah, that kid's great.
Yeah,
That was going to be
I
the
have to agree.
question. Oh, yeah, no. Joe is freaking insane. I mean, he's just. I saw him like on Beatty's podcast 2 or 3 years ago, I think. And I thought, oh, like he's going to be somebody who wins USAs and then never places in the out of the third call out because he was just like such a wide waist. And then he kind of proved me right that first year in California. He didn't place well. He was like seventh or eighth, or I think he tied for last. But either way, he didn't do well his first year. They took some more time off, and he just exploded on the scene. So no, I mean, I don't think he's actually shrunk his waist at all. I think he's just built up so much more muscle around it that it looks smaller.
The
I mean,
illusion is real.
absolutely yes. But I mean, I'll admit, like, he kind of made me angry for a little while on Baby's podcast because he was like, "Oh, like this is how we train legs, and you got to do all this and this," and like, yeah, you're going to be a third tier pro for your entire career. Shut up and let Stu talk. But he proves me wrong. He looks fantastic, and Stu's nowhere to be found now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
what happened there?
I mean, he's had some bad peaks. He supposedly, I know he was just down in Mexico to get some gyno fixed, but I don't know what's happening with Stu. Just why he's not placing well because he seems to show up in shape for most of his shows. He has just balls of muscle, but I think especially I'm actually going to take Stu as maybe one of my more overlooked guys in his Japan show. I'm not sure if you can pull the picture up, Andrew, but I thought both he and James looked fantastic in Japan. And just they kind of got overlooked a little bit there. The background wasn't great, just it was like bright blue. So washed a lot of the guys out, but I thought Stu did look good.
If James had a better midsection, like definition or like separation wise, like his abs are kind of like mine, where there's not very good separation and it kind of washes out, even if it's super peeled. I feel like if he had just more visibly appealing abs, he would do so much better. But they destroy him for that.
Oh,
well,
absolutely. I mean,
yeah.
no, James is he does well. It's just I'm always afraid he's a little bit over the hump and he's lost some of his drive, what with having a kid now. And I'm not sure we're ever going to see James win another show.
I think so. Again, I don't know Stu at all. Never. I saw him once, no, twice, randomly. But I think a lot of it's mental, in my opinion, because he talks about having had gone through self harm, but something in his midsection, for some reason, it just doesn't dry out, and like I don't think it's a nerve thing, or maybe it is a nerve thing. Like he's nervous, but he hides it very well. I don't know, but I mean, it could be the way that that Blue does his peak week, but Stu usually looks really great, and I also don't think these lights really help. Like
No.
the background lighting, it's really hard to tell on here, but in person, I saw him. We went to the Tampa Pro, TJ. Remember with um Ramon, or not Ramon, Roman. Remember how
Yeah.
peeled Roman was? So
Dude, that was the
Roman
craziest thing I've
was
ever seen in person.
when you look at him on stage and then you look to the screen to the right, night and day difference. Like you thought Kamal was peeled with that the serratus, dude, he was freaking peeled. But Stu was there and he looked good. Like he had the midsection, it was great. I think they just said he needed to bring up his legs, but it seems like ever since he brought his legs up, he's like had a problem with the midsection. So I have no idea, but like, yeah, if he can get that together, him and James seem to have the same problem in the midsection. It
Mhm.
just, I don't know what happens to it. And I think the other person that talks about it too is that Niall that has the transparent podcast. He says that his
Yep.
problem area is the midsection. But and again, I don't know. There's so many factors that go into play with the midsection being lost. I mean, you're looking at um like diuretic use, electrolytes, food, water retention, cortisol. I mean, there's so many different things. It would be great to see them take a how was that back in the day? The anti-cortisol thing.
Oh,
I know what you're talking
Matt
about.
Porter's. Was it Matt Porter's
No,
one?
the drug.
Oh, okay.
Hmm, I
Wow,
can't
that hasn't been
remember.
around in a while. I know what you're
It's
talking about.
aldactone. It's um something similar to that. Uh, close to the name. Um, yeah, I can't remember, but it used to be prescribed. Cytosine? No,
You
something
know,
like that.
cortisol.
No,
Gosh,
cytosol,
I'm Googling
cytosol.
it.
I think it's cytosol. Yeah, that's like what they gave patients with Cushing's and such, but it just gets rid of cortisol. Like just dumps it. It is bad for
Completely.
you though. Like people think that caber is bad, which it's not. Like it's really not. Abusively, yeah, but yeah, the other one is like it's pretty bad on your kidneys. But
I
yeah,
just remember the MPA subs cortisol or whatever, the powder being
yeah,
delicious, but it was so expensive
phosphatidylserine. It's like it was like
at really
600
high
milligrams or
dose.
900 milligrams. Yeah. The perks of having Matt Porter as your coach, he would give that to you for free. That and the cereal.
Oh yeah, the isopoofs. I haven't seen those in a
Yeah,
while.
dude.
I think you
Because
can get them on like muscle and strength.
yeah, his wife I think still kind of runs things, but back in the day, like when I first started with him, he was kind of messing around with stuff, and they didn't have the cortisol thing yet, and so he just it was like in a little silver baggie. It's great.
Not shady at all.
No, no, I'm sticking tren in my body, like I care what else I'm taking.
Yeah. I don't hate
um,
the ghost protein cereal.
I do.
I don't like it. It sticks to my teeth,
My girlfriend doesn't
and
like
they
it because
use soy.
it doesn't soften at all. Like they stay crisp, which is a little bit weird, but
Yeah,
I don't eat
yeah,
cereal often.
they use a soy protein. Yeah, I don't know. I just eat regular cereal if I'm going to,
Yep.
and then put like drink a whey protein isolate shake.
That's
I'm
my
not gonna.
post-workout meal.
I'm sorry, I can't do it in. I can't shake it up and then pour it in there. I gotta drink mine separate and then have cereal.
Amateur hour. No, I used to do the shake just right over the cereal as the milk. And one time I was out of my whey isolate and I literally just used the pasteurized liquid egg whites. And people look at me like I was a psychopath, but I'm like, it's good. My
Yeah,
I
girlfriend
might
at
have
the
heard of
time ate it
that.
too.
dude,
It,
I think everyone's done that. Everyone's drank those things. What was the company that used to make the flavored egg whites and it would be like a
Muscle
hundred
egg.
dollars?
yep.
It's like $100 per thing. Every
I
After
still
supplement
my
do
store
it.
first
had like
show,
the yeah,
I
dude.
got I got 3 gallons of it after my first show. I used to know their
Jeez.
like main sponsored athlete, Jerome, I think, Jerome Din or something. He was from Minnesota. He had a pretty decent following back in the day. I don't know what he's doing now, but he was pretty much the only guy in Minnesota, North Dakota, South Dakota at shows with their booth. Uh, was peeled year round, like pretty decent size. he always trained at all the LA fitness locations around there.
No, I
But I
mean,
haven't
maybe
seen
there's
him.
something to those muscle leg then because their main guy now, Brent Swanson, is always peeled year round too. So,
Oh, yes. Hold on. That guy has the biggest forehead. Now,
yes, he does.
now I'm not picking on the guy, but like it is what it I got a big nose, all right? Like it is what it is. Homeboy's got a big forehead. Now I know he's type 1 diabetic,
Yep.
but that is little hair. He's got he needs to do something with the hairline or bring it forward or something. But that head is so big. It is
It's worse
huge.
than Peyton Manning.
There's some
Yeah.
pictures that are real bad. I just looked it
Yeah.
up.
But
It's rough.
that butter spray. But yeah, he has a big that's his wife, I think, right? I think so. Yeah. She's peeled too, man. Like they are just
Yeah.
one peeled couple, but man, homeboy has got to do something. He's got to wear a hat. If he wears a hat all the time, perfect. Perfect, dude. Perfect. Yeah. Anyways. Um, but yeah, think about how much biotin we lost drinking egg whites, the liquid egg whites. Um, since it depletes your biotin. Other question. Hmm, how often do you wash your bed sheets?
And I have a rotation. I have two pairs. I'll have one pair on for 2 weeks, take it off and put on the other one, use it for 2 weeks, wash them both at the same time.
TJ?
It depends on certain factors. Sometimes I have to wash them a little bit more frequently, but not
Pee in your
including
pants is
probably
cool.
it's a medical condition. uh, but I'd say every week and a half to 2 weeks, just because I have time. I'm at the house. Sometimes I'll just be like, time to wash these, and I'll just go rip them off the bed, throw them in the washer.
Okay, you guys, maybe I'm a psychopath. I wash mine every 2 days to 3 days.
We know
No
you're a
psychopath.
psychopath. Yeah.
I do sweat. I'm diabetic. No, I do sweat at night, and my wife likes to have like 5 blankets on her, and then I'm like pushing everything over. But yeah, it's like my neck just pees, and it just gets all over my pillows. But yeah,
Luckily,
I wash
I
it quite
am able
often.
to keep the temp down enough, especially not being on anything. I don't sweat as bad right now, but obviously, if I wake up soaked, I'm going to wash them.
Yeah, man. Okay, yeah, I am kind of a little
Helps
weird.
with
I
that
also do.
is
I do
okay,
laundry a lot
those
too.
yeah. The bed coolers, I have like the Uller dock. It's like the chili pad. That makes a big
Yeah,
difference. So whenever I
I
go anywhere
know.
else, I sweat like a motherfucker through the mattress or the sheets or anything. But with
Yeah,
that cooler, I'd be much better.
yeah. I should
Oh,
look
those
because
things are
they
so
they have like
nice.
half a bed, right? They have one that's like
Yep.
just for half.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
Because
but
it's even though full bed one is like two half beds. So your wife won't need to use it. Because
here's
I
the
think like the
problem.
eight sleep is the other option, and it's the entire mattress. But
Yeah,
no, it works very well. I'm very happy with mine.
I have a sliver on my side that I sleep on, and I don't go across my sliver. We have a king size bed, so she's all the way on my side, right? So
Of
she would end
course.
up. So maybe this would keep her on her side if it's like cold and she rolls over. So I might have to look into that.
Oh, if I could get a chilly one for my side and then basically just a heated pad for her side, it'd fix a lot of problems. Because every time we get in bed, she's like, "It's so cold in here." I'm like, "Well,
I'm
use the
sweating.
blanket." Yeah, I'm sweating. I'm like, "Use the blanket." She hasn't even covered up yet. I'm like, "That's what the blanket's for." You get under it, you wait a couple seconds, your body heat warms you up, and we're good to go.
Yeah, she's like, "You take off more of your clothes." I'm like, "I'm in my shorts. Like, I don't know what else I can take off. And I'm
That's
not
my
sleeping naked."
go-to line. See us naked. But I always say, you can put more clothes on or use more blankets. I can't take my skin off. Like
Yeah.
I'm as far as I can go.
Yeah. Um, what's your thoughts on site enhancement oil and bodybuilding and not just the PMAA or PMMA or like the what's the other one? The pump and pose, whatever that one is. But like also people just using like high volumes of carrier oils that's in their anabolics.
So I have no personal experience with any of the site enhancement stuff. But when I started pinning my delts, like as my main spot, my delts got capped. But I also got like a strip that was like almost permanently held down by scar tissue. So I'd have like a deep separation
Mhm.
in the middle of my delt. Trying to freaking roll that thing out, massage gun. It was a pain.
Yeah. You got opinions on it, Joe?
Uh, Somewhat. I think I mean, number one, it's prevalent in a lot of the pro ranks. I'm sure we all know that. And so, in my opinion, as long as it's done well and we can't see, like, hey, that's a shot up delt, as long as we can't, like, obviously point it out, yeah, go for it. I don't have an issue with anyone uh, like all the wellness girls with PMMA and the glutes or anything. It doesn't bother me. Yeah, it's a riskier thing because it's not just going to process out, it's in there permanently. But I put plenty of shit in my body, so what's my point to judge them? That all
Yeah.
being said, it's not going to build itself physique off of just plastic and synthol. So I think anyone who's an amateur in like a local level show and using it as an idiot because they're just trying to rush the growth before it's actually there. It's not going to look good. But I
Yeah.
mean, like TJ said as well, once I started when I started pinning a couple of muscle groups, I noticed significant growth in them. Maybe it was just I could feel them more because there was a bit of sensitivity, a bit of tightness when I was training. But when I started pinning my delts, they grew. When I started using my rear delts, they're massive now, and I never trained them. When I started doing like carnitine and glutathione in my biceps and triceps, my arms grew. So I do think there's validity to it, but you can't build a physique without training if you're using it. So don't think it's a shortcut to getting huge. Like the Russian synthol kid with the huge
Yeah.
arms that you have to have trained. That's
Yeah.
just stupid.
So
Yeah.
how do you feel about Hottie's delts?
They were
Everyone
pretty
hates.
pointy a couple of years. They've been better the past couple, but they were pretty pointy for a few years.
I think that was like maybe him using AMP or something before or Winstrol or something. I think he just got inflamed shot. Maybe he just kept pinning them, pinning them, pinning them. Um, and then you don't notice. Sometimes you don't notice, until you actually get feedback from other people.
Not,
Because maybe he never sees it at that angle. But I think, or maybe he likes it like when it looks like that. It is a cultural thing too, right? Some people like specific looks to physiques, but yeah, I
it could
don't.
just, like you said, just been a bad shot or something. It doesn't necessarily have to be a side enhancement. Kind of when I was
Yeah,
dieting for my show a couple of years ago, I had a bad shot of my delta. There was just a freaking golf ball lump there for weeks. That you thought, okay,
yeah.
there's something going on
Going
there.
into my second show,
So
I had a
then what?
bad shot in my quad, and like I was
Oh man.
percent.
All right. Got to
What?
switch internet, Wi-Fi things. But
Okay.
I have a Wi-Fi splitter, and I think one of them's slow. One of them's retarded. Um, but
Bring it back.
yeah, gay retarded router. Um, no, yeah, I don't mind it, man. It's like it doesn't look the same as muscle, and you do have to have the muscle there. And whether it's synthol or I don't, again, women have boob jobs, lips and butts and all that stuff. People back in the day had calves injections or implants, whatever they want to do. Yeah, yeah. I think the majority of people use it, and you can definitely you can tell some of the people that use it, but yeah, as long as it doesn't take away from your physique and you have built the muscle, I think it's totally fine. Like they're not going to do a body CT scan and image to see what's muscle and what's oil because all of your gear is oil anyways. So
I
If they
mean,
banned any synthetic enhancements like had boob jobs or synthol or anything, then there would be riots because
oh
you
yeah,
are
a
not
bunch
taking
of
away those boob jobs.
itty bitty
We
titty.
want them there.
Yeah. Um, yeah, that means none of the guys can get gyno surgery.
that's gonna suck.
Ooh.
Yeah, a
Just
bunch of like
B
lactating
cups.
twin nipples. I think the nandrolone nipples are way more distracting than someone who like has a bump from a pin, like Derek's lats or whatever. And people have to understand, like, I'd rather have it there versus somewhere else, like in my lat or something, because like where have you been pinning all of your other gear? You know, like you don't want to have your glutes have these horns on them as well, and they probably have some of the scar tissue back there. But yeah, I don't really care if it's in there or not. Mm. All right, you want two more questions.
Sure.
Let's do it.
All right, who is your favorite Mr. O of all time?
Well, I mean, I didn't get to see him personally, but Ronnie is greatest of all time.
Obviously, I feel like you have to agree with that, but I have a favorite that never won an Olympia. I was a huge Kai Green fan. Like when I got into bodybuilding, like Kai Green back, like that was by far my favorite. So he he was my go-to guy that never won an Olympia, but had a following bigger than most people that did win the Olympia.
And I'm a big Kai fan. I know they talked about on Fuad's podcast on Friday. Like, would you take Kai or Hottie? And like top, if they were fighting for like, being in the top 10 of greatest bodybuilders of all time, who would you think would take it? Because I'm taking Kai all day.
I think if they went head to head, I think Kai would win. Like he was massive. Look at that. Look at those lats. The striated lats were the craziest thing, and he had horse legs.
Yeah, he was very
No.
impressive to see going to the Olympia, him versus Phil. But I personally don't like his physique. I just don't like I don't like it when they're so compact and they have so much muscle on them. I think it's impressive, but it's nothing that I would be like, I want to look like that. Because I also I know what they go through, and part of me is like, I never want to have discomfort of like the off season that they have to go through. But yeah, he's very, very impressive. Um,
I mean,
but
obviously the waist isn't fantastic. That was just kind of the time. That it
yeah,
wasn't as big of an issue.
And for that
yeah,
time, it wasn't horrible compared to who he was competing against in a
no,
lot
for
of
sure.
cases.
I mean, look at that. That's just freaking nutty. And he knew how to pose. That's the other thing. It
Oh,
is great.
great posing.
Like even his calves, like freaking nice, nice calves. Like that's almost like who's another like Quentin Eastwood would probably have the closest calves to that. That's a black guy. um, but
He's
but
why I started bodybuilding.
him and Bonac, like I just don't like they're so compact and there's so much muscle. It's just it's amazing, but it's also like oh like I don't know.
I kind of get it with Bonac, but the crazy striations he had in
Yeah.
that amount of muscle just always blew my mind. Like the striated
And
lats.
and you could see it through his clothes. Um,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
One of my favorite times in bodybuilding, I was pretty pretty much at my heaviest in the off season, but still pretty lean. It was when I was going to do junior nationals for the first time, right before I injured my knee really bad, and you could see my leg vascularity through my sweatpants. Like even my
Yeah.
black pair of sweatpants, when I was sitting there, you could see like all the spider web vascularity. I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. My favorite is Shawn Rhoden
Oh
that I
yeah.
got to see in person. I love his physique. I like the prettier physiques. So I think Andrew Jack is a little bit too alien right now. So even if he does win the Olympia, I mean, he's impressive in person and everything. I mean, I've seen him multiple times in person, shook his hand, talked to him, and everything. Um, but he looks so cartoonish and weird. You're like something isn't right, but it's so awe and amazement. You're just like, wow, like it's put together very, very well. But sometimes if you stare at it long enough, like stare at him long enough, you're like, what? Like something just like, is he not full enough? He's not big enough, but he's freaking huge already. So it's like, does he need a little bit more on the forearms, like to make it look better? I mean, I don't know, but
Can you pull up one more person?
yeah.
Justin Compton.
Oh
Dude.
yeah,
He was
Absolutely
one of the
bubbly.
that's all I was gonna say. The bubbliest white guy
he's about
I can ever remember.
to say that's this his spirit race is black. Yeah, nutty. This is like an old.
Trying to fight Kai too now. So
I thought he was gonna win multiple Olympias.
Yeah, this is a carousel. Yeah, he was great, and even talking to him in Tampa that one time, dude.
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, remember we talked to him for like an hour to hour and a half about fishing.
Yeah.
Dude, once he knew because like I was talking to him about my parents like being in real estate and they're like if he was looking for like a place on the ocean and stuff and I was like okay yeah and he's talking about his boat and stuff and we're talking about like getting an electric truck and he's like it wouldn't pull the boat long enough and dude he just kept talking and talking and talking. He's a funny guy but man you talk about fishing with him he just goes on forever. Yeah, he's a bubbly guy.
That's a
that's just a
classic right
wild
there.
shot.
Yeah. All right. Uh Last question. Uh what's the supplement you took for a long time and looking back feel like you wasted so much money?
Uh, that was like leading off, the one that jumps to mind first. That Redcon 1 supplement Halo, it was like Chinese Similax. I didn't run it for too long, but I ran a good 4 or 5 bottles of it at $80 a bottle. And I'm
What's
like,
that? Wasn't it like a
that,
laxogen?
yep. It was Chinese Similax, which was supposed to be standardized for Laxogen. And I probably got no muscle gains from that. Tried that in college, thinking I was a hardcore lifter.
Yeah.
No, that was a waste of money.
I never
You
the
know,
ones that didn't work, I don't feel like I kept in for too long. But like glucosamine chondroitin, like I took it because I had so many issues with my knee, and I feel like it did absolutely nothing. And then when I started taking any of the supplements that I take nowadays with the UC2 form of collagen, that
mhm.
was a game changer for me and instantly made me regret every bottle I purchased of glucosamine chondroitin.
um there's there's two that come to mind. Beef tablets back in the day. It's like I started supplementing at like age 14, right? So I because I don't like they definitely tasted terrible. I think it's beef liver or something like that. I don't remember. But like you would just chew them and instead of swallowing them because they were so big. I think they were it was by Animal Unilever, something like that.
I think I
So that
remember which
one,
one you're talking about.
yeah, they tasted disgusting. And then the other one was Twin Labs Amino Fuel.
Yeah.
I took those two things because there's this bodybuilder that was kind of like showing me the ropes in one of our gyms whenever I was a teenager, and those are the things that he took. But he was like, I also take this, this, and this. And he's like telling me like steroids and stuff. And I'm like, back in my head, I'm like, I think I should have just taken those. But it's 14 years old. But the guy was like, start off on these. But yeah, that amino fuel, dude, it tasted terrible. And it came in like two flavors. And looking back at it, like I could just be eating food or taking whey protein.
Yeah, I took one of the amino complex capsules. It was like 8 capsules per meal, and I was getting like an extra 800 milligrams of leucine. I'm like, I could have had an extra ounce of protein and
Yeah.
been probably better off.
Marketing was wild back then. Like the amount of like like Muscle Tech was genius at marketing, and it's like increased muscle mass by 8,000 or 800 and something percent, like backed by science based whatever from University of Florida Halo. It's like that powdered stuff and nano vapor, and yeah, it's crazy. Um,
What was the isotory or whatever? They had the bio grow.
oh yeah. That was like crappy colostrum or something. Like it was supposed to be like
It
a
was something along
IGF.
those.
Yeah,
Yeah, I remember when that was. I only did probably 2 bottles of it because it wasn't cheap. Like when that first came out, it wasn't cheap, and I was young and broke, so I quickly
yeah.
passed on that.
I mean, dude, this still goes on today, and even in this Discord group that we're in, they still talk about like trying to get the most gains out of all these natural supplements, like the fava bean extract stuff, and or whatever, like HMB and all these things. And I'm like, dude, it's just your your sleep is
Waste of
probably off,
money.
your new training, your nutrition, it's all off, man. Do you know how many snacks people consume? Like, I don't. I ate like three to four, whatever I said in the chat. David bars traveling to Florida, and I had diarrhea for like 2 days. I'm like, there's no freaking way I'm going to be consuming all these processed snacks. Like, it blows my mind. And like, they're still trying to find shortcuts into like their bad habits. And hopefully, some of you people are still listening that are on this Discord group. You gay
No, I
faggot
mean,
retards.
yeah, definitely
And
does.
now they're not listening.
No, they're not.
At least
And
pissed
I
all
just
of them
got banned.
off. Yeah, you can ban me too then. But I mean, my girlfriend back in November, she started working with an actual fitness coach because she'd been in the gym for like 2 years, but doing the kind of if it fits your macros, like having all the legendary protein snacks and the Quest bars, all that kind of stuff. And he has her on like an extra 600 calories over what she was doing of just whole food. And she's dropping like 2 pounds a week and feeling better, digestion's better, less headaches. She just feels so much better. So I'm extremely happy about that.
Good. Yeah, it's freaking amazing what real food will do for you.
Mm-hmm. And in
Yeah.
reasonable quantities and not all the fats and oils and crap.
Yeah. Sure. All right, gents, I have to go eat a meal and before my blood sugar drops even more.
Yep.
And I have to go cook a meal.
All
So
right.
I just
Both
finished
of
eating a meal, so
Well,
hope you always
go
have a
take
good
your.
one.
All right.
awesome.
Later,
You
guys.
too.
Bye.